Hits by the pound.
Yeah, this is how we do it in the Central Colors, man. We got 40 ounces, Old English, rag tops, 6'4" Impalas, and bikini girls, man. This is how we do it on the West Coast. San Diego, San Francisco, Los Angeles. But don't forget about the Central Cali, man. Please don't forget about the Central Cali. Yeah, get 'em.
It's another sunny day in the state of California. Low rider palm trees and G's that put it on ya. This ain't a negative, we speaking ebonics. Rank talk, candy paint on D's with hydraulics. Baseball hat with the sticker on the brim. Don't let the shine blind your sight, cause things can get grim. But I'm not here to talk about banana clips and guns. We're going back to Cali and we're gonna have some fun. A West Coast domination.
And welcome back to Two-Face Entertainment Podcast. I am your host, Fred Segura, out here in Monterey County, also known to the world as the Salad Bowl, also known as the Salinas Valley. To the people in LA, we are north. To the people in San Francisco, we are south. Right smack in the middle, best of both worlds. Don't forget about the Central Cali. Anyway, folks, today we are going to talk about Narcissist, right? Geez, where do we go from there, right? Unfortunately, I've dealt with a few, right? In particular, artists, music artists, right? Being that I've been involved in the music industry and so on. So, hold on, guys, this is kind of a little bit crooked here. And I had artists coming out and stuff and getting artists on the label and so on and so forth. However, not knowing at the time what I was dealing with, there's some very hard people to deal with, you know. Well, let me put it to you like this: not hard people to deal with. They're just very. For those of you who may not know or understand what a narcissist is, and it comes in males and females. They want to pretty much. They believe they're the smartest people in the world. They are, they are smarter than anybody around them. They're better at whatever they do around them. They're just overall the epitome of anybody, for that matter, right? So with that being said, I dealt with a few. Even to the point where maybe there was one point where there was we were working on some music and stuff, and I told the artist, I said, hey, listen, we need to get this person on the song. And they're like, well, no, I wanted to do stuff like this and like this. I said, listen, but that dude is, whatever, basically I kicked out the idea, which would have made it a better song, which did in fact make it a bigger song. Right, or better song for that matter. But with that, guys, when it came time to call that artist, I said, well, you go ahead and call him. I noticed that this dude, when he was talking to him, he was talking like it was his idea. I felt like this, and he was basically mirroring, just mirroring what I had told him. I'm not much of a guy who says, well, you got to give me credit. I'm not an attention seeker. There's a lot of people in this world that are big time attention seekers, man, and they love the attention. And if somebody else gets the attention, look at me. Well, look at me. That kind of stuff. I have my little weenie dog, Toby the Tube, is like that. He doesn't want anybody else getting attention but him. But anyhow, that's beside the point, right? I just thought I'd throw that in there. But anyhow, so I didn't really care that he told them that it was his idea. Regardless, we got the artist there. I mean, I could have called the artist myself, but I said, hey, you do it. But that was one, in a sense, a red flag, if you will. There was also another situation where it deals with not only narcissism, but schizophrenia as well. These are mental issues, real and mental issues with people. This guy, he was arguing with me about a movie and stuff, and saying that a certain song was played on the movie. You know what? I'll go there. He said, well, he says that Mexican American song was, when he plays it in the movie Cheech Marin, he plays it in the movie Born in East LA. I said, no, he doesn't. He says, yeah, it's Mexican American. It's in that movie, Born in East LA. He said, no, it's not. It's in Cheech and Chong's next movie. And he was persistent to say, hey, you know what? No, it wasn't. And I'm like, God, dude, like, come on, bro. You know, and he was just stuck in that to the point where we would always get into arguments slash discussions where I actually pulled the movie out, the Born in East LA. And it's a legitimate copy and everything. I said, look, and we put it out. I had to sit through this movie. I didn't want to see the movie at that time. I've already seen it 1,000 times. I didn't want to see it at the time, but it was more of a, hey, we had nothing else to do. This guy thinks he's right. Hey, I'll bet him $20. And that's what happened, right? At the end, he was like, man, you know, because throughout the movie, he was like, watch, it's right here. It's right here. I go, really? Yeah, it's right there, bro? It's right there? Okay, it's going to come out right now. No. I knew it wasn't. I knew it wasn't going to come out. But anyhow, once it ended, he was still stuck, man. He was still like, you know, he got really quiet, you know. And that's one thing about narcissists. They hate being wrong or being told wrong. And I guess myself, I'm not a kind of person that likes to take a lot of crap from people. Like, I'll fire back, you know, and I'll play it off like ha 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 kind of deal. But I will fire back at you. You know what I mean? That's just my nature. I'm not trying to say I'm a tough guy. I just don't like taking crap from people. But anyhow, so at the time I didn't understand, and I remember he was getting water from the little dispenser we have, right? He was getting water, and I walked over there and I said, "Hey man, don't you feel dumb now? You feel dumb about it, right? I told you, bro." Especially myself, I'm a big old movie buff. Anyways, those of you guys who know. And he was like. And this is what really, looking back at it now, this is what kind of freaked me out. He got the water and he was like, he says, no, I don't feel stupid at all, man. He goes, I still don't get it. I still don't get it, bro. I know I saw it in that movie. And I'm like, dude, like, I just showed this guy proof. And he still was persistent that it was in the movie, which it wasn't, but it's not. It's not in that movie. But anyways, I mean, that's just one of the incidents. We'd always get into arguments slash discussions. He'd come out of left field sometimes with what, you know, we'd be having a conversation and he'd come out of left field all the time. I always try to downgrade everybody else. I always feel like, oh, you know what? I see the bigger picture. Everybody else sees the small picture. It was the other way around. He didn't see he didn't see the bigger picture. Basically, he was reflecting on himself, that he felt he was the epitome of everything. And in the end, he never stepped outside himself to see that he just looked like an idiot. He made an ass of himself constantly over and over and over again. But a narcissist will never see that, right? He went on to get into a relationship. I'm not going to get into the dynamics of what happened, right? Why he was involved with my family in a sense, but he went on to get into a relationship somewhere else. And then a narcissist tradition, if you will, is to badmouth the people that pretty much they feel betrayed them, right? But the thing about it was that, again, I'm not going to sit there and play that game. If I feel strongly about something and you're trying to convince me no, this is what it is. And I saw it in an interview and this is why. I don't care if you saw it. I don't care. I don't care if Jesus Christ himself came and sat and told me, I know what I saw. Or I know this is how I feel about it. You know what I mean? That's what it is, bro. Like, that's just bottom line. And they hate those kind of strong-minded people that will stick to their guns and be like, no, dude, like, you're not going to change that on me. You know what I mean? Like, you know, so I would do that without really knowing that I was dealing with a narcissist. I do know that now. There was plenty of situations where he just that's another thing, constant lying, always lying about everything, you know. He sabotaged some of my music stuff. You know what I mean? He did, and he turned around and blamed somebody else for it. I was like, you know what? Well, you know, it is what it is. You know what I mean? Whatever, dude. Whatever. He felt satisfied in that because he couldn't sell records the way I sold records. Not to say that I sold, oh my God, I'm over here, balling out of control. No, but he couldn't sell records. I'll put it to you guys like this. In that sense, let's not even focus on how many records I've sold. I've sold quite a bit, right? Pretty much a lot, right? But he himself, legitimately, and I will say it here on Two-Face Entertainment Podcast, because he was under the Two-Face Entertainment label, record label, right? He sold one legitimate copy. But why did he sell one legitimate copy? Let me explain something to you guys. Here's the deal, guys. What happened was that I would tell him, like, hey, listen, dude, do this and this and this. Especially at the time I was on MySpace. Do this and this and that so you can get more plays, so people can go more. I wasn't talking about buying plays for people. Get the regular people. Don't get the artist. He refused to listen. So when I came with my project, my next project, and it sold out 5 times, constantly, right? At 5 back to back, it sold out 5 times. He hated it. He couldn't stand it because, again, I made him look like ass. But it wasn't me. I didn't do that to spite anybody. He did it to himself, right? And they're the kind of people that will turn around and not really care about what's going on. They don't care about the bridge they burned with anybody because they're so self-centered. They're stuck on themselves. And in due time as they get older, I mean, these people will not even care about their kids, will, turn their back on their kids and blame everybody else but themselves, right? How anybody else can marry somebody like that and say, hey, well, you know what, you have X amount of kids, but none of them are with you, and you got 2 baby mamas, and they don't want nothing to do with you, and they don't want you near the kid. That should be a huge red flag as to what's going on there. But hey, that's neither here nor there, right? But anyhow, this is the life of a narcissist. To badmouth everybody, and then they'll lie and make somebody look bad. Even the stuff that perhaps even I wouldn't be surprised if he told that family or his family that the Cheech and Chong story I just told you guys about him being wrong about it. He probably flipped in and said it was me. That I was the one saying that it was, that's the kind of person they are. There's a lot of stuff, and I often, I don't dwell on it, guys. I don't dwell on it. I have my own life. I have my children with me, unlike that person that I'm talking about. I have my own children. I have them with me. That's a blessing in itself. Is it great, hunky-dory? No, it's not, man. It get hectic at times, but it is what it is. But at least I have my children, right? But I will say this. He just, there's no way to work around it, guys, with these people. That's just how they are. That's just in their nature of being, right? That's just how they are. That's their nature of how they function with people. And again, I don't dwell on it, but I often wonder, man, I say to myself, man, I wonder how his wife puts up with it. Because these people do not change, right? I think to myself, man, I would, shoot, I'm surprised. He's putting up a great front, right? Because at the end of the day, maybe he's benefiting off of that somehow. But these people never change. It's a mask that they hold on to. And once they get older, they start to break down, right? But 9 out of 10, they'll die alone because they don't think of anybody but themselves. And it's a mental disease. It's hard. It's a hard thing. Plus, this person that I'm talking about, I was talking about in general, but this person I'm talking about ended up in a mental ward at one point. Tried to deny it. I visited him there. I saw him. So there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. But that's not, I'm not trying to say, oh my God, well, I'm trying to argue about it. No, it is what it is. It is what it is. It's just an unfortunate turn of events. But it's just sad to see that, you know, not sad to see we can't turn those people around and make them say like, hey, snap out of it, bro, like I'm your friend, or hey, because they don't care about anybody or anything but themselves. And they never will change. They will never change. At least that's my experience with them, and that's what I've understood from that mental disease, if you will. I don't know how to put it, a mental disorder or whatever of narcissism, you know. But yeah, man, I mean, that's really it. Again, man, I just thought I'd share that with you guys. Maybe it might be a little incoherent for some of you to understand what I'm talking about, but look it up if you don't know, right? Look it up if you don't know. But it's not an easy thing dealing with them. Not an easy thing dealing with them. Unless you're like me, in the sense that don't really care, which basically you're going to torture the crap out of them. And that's technically what I did. I tortured the crap out of them without even knowing, which is probably a good thing, guys, because if I'd have known what I know now, oh my God, I would have turned it up. Really turned it up and tortured them. But hey, you know what? At the end of the day, hey, you know what? I will say this. I will say, and I'm not saying and not being a narcissist about it myself, there was not one argument / discussion that he ever beat me on. Because he was always with that, you know, again, they have that where they want to switch it around and stuff, and it's like, no, bro, I'm not going for that, you know. And even though they feel they won and they could talk and say everything, you know, however they want to say it, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter to me. It matters more to them. I will say one thing, and this, I'm not getting paid for this, guys. The best way I could describe a narcissist, those of you who do not know or understand what I'm talking about, watch the movie American Psycho. That's a perfect example of a narcissist. American Psycho, starring Christian Bale. But anyhow, guys, that's just it. That's just it. That's just what it is. All right. You know what? It's just, there's just people like that in the world, right? But hey, you know, life goes on. We are, you know, we are trying to do the best we can, and that's all we can do, right? We can't worry about these other people that have those disorders. Be happy, be comfortable in your skin, know who you are, and also be aware that, hey, when you talk to somebody else, you can probably learn from them, right? They're not idiots or whatever. You can take in and maybe learn more if you listen to other people sometimes, right? But with that, guys, with that being said, this is Two Face Entertainment Podcast. I'm your host, Fred Segura, signing out.